Speaking of painful, Larry Kudlow, who decided he hadn't done enough damage in the actual Trump administration, is now on Fox giving terrible advice. Now, the great thing about this is he's nowhere near the levers of power, and it's almost like a what not to do show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. Great to be with you.
It's nice to have access to that Wall Street cocaine again.
So some very good news. We opened the...
God damn it. How does this communist run this country and the Dow Jones hits 34,000? Next thing you know, Dogecoin's going to hit $1 and I'm going to be...
The show, stock markets hit record highs. Bond yields fell. The dollar was higher. Retail sales booming. Manufacturing booming. Unemployment claims plunging. And it looks like we're all going to live happily ever after. Now,
except, and by the way, the name of this segment is Kudlow. The crazy left must not be allowed to persevere. What? Persevere?
Now, we're going to talk to some economic gurus later in the show.
Which will hopefully help me point out that this is all just a smokescreen, and it's only this way because Donald Trump is still president, like Michael Lindell says. And gin, please.
But I want to take part of their bacon right up front. I need to say once again, the only true stimulus plan is the ultra-successful vaccine program launched by President Trump's Operation Warp Speed. And get this, total vaccinations are now 198 million. Herd immunity just around the corner. Businesses reopening.
Dude, you didn't organize shit. All he did was like throw taxpayer money at it and hope it worked and then act like it wasn't a fucking problem. 500,000 people died because this dickhead fucked around with your help. None of this is all being arranged by adults who've come in and gone, okay, well, I guess we got parts here. This is like saying we designed and created the greatest car ever. We left parts all over the goddamn floor and no particular directions. They come in, manage to weld a vehicle together that wins a land speed record, and we should get all the credit because we left the parts laying around.
Everywhere. Personally, my wife and I, my saintly wife and I, went out for dinner Tuesday.
She'd have to be.
Night. And we're going out again this evening. Both will be indoor dining. And by the way, Tuesday night, the restaurant was virtually full, and people were very happy.
Weird. I thought, was there something anywhere where Larry Kudlow's, let's see, Larry Kudlow, Biden will destroy. Let's just look up that, see if there's got to be something. Let's see, view all. This is just a week ago. I want to grab something from last year. I mean, there's a lot of this shit. Oh, let's just go. Where the hell was that? There you go. There's a little ad going on first, but you know, just so we can clarify what this says. Larry Kudlow says Joe Biden's climate plan will do enormous damage to the U.S. economy. What else, Larry? What else do you think? Biden's agenda. Where's this one? Here. Oh, that Yahoo won't take me to it, you bastard. Let's see. I'm going to go back further. March 9th, 2020. Okay. Defends account. Oh, well, I don't know where this came from. I want to see this little piece. This is from last year this time. Markets are tanking, coronavirus is spreading, and Trump is attacking Biden and the media. It's going to have an ad in it. I know it. Yeah. Get on with it. I don't like ads. Loading ad, loading ad. It's probably downloading all the files on my computer. You bastard. And thanks, Raphael, by the way. Thank you. And thanks, Chicago's Finest, by the way. I'm okay. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see if this is.
Officials here at the White House this morning to gauge the White House's plan. I'm told that there is a meeting scheduled here at the White House for later this afternoon with President Trump, who's going to be returning from Florida.
Wait, what was the 24,413?
That meeting, the economic team is going to present the president with ideas for economic stimulus in response to the virus. I'm told paid sick leave will be at the top of that list of ideas.
Yeah, that worked out.
But a senior administration official telling me we will have a full menu of options for the president at that meeting this afternoon. The president returns to the White House.
Apparently, unless fish sandwiches, a fish delight is on there, he's not interested in any of the
things. In the 3 p.m. hour from Florida later on today, so this meeting will take place after that. The official telling me that the president is aware of the stock market action that we've seen this
You think?
morning. This official calling today's trading discouraging, saying it's a tough one, but we're going to work our way through it. Separately, on the oil market, I can tell you that.
Where was the? All right. So this, by the way, this is just this markets tanking coronavirus, and is that was from last year. What's the stock market at right now? What's happening over here? What's happening? All right. I'm not subscribing to Kudlow, you nuts.
Consensus estimates for first quarter GDP is about 6%, but it's actually going to come in at 8% or even better. The second quarter might even rise to 10%. This is possible. Core retail sales over the past 3 months rising at a 59% annual rate. Manufacturing production up.
Yeah, but against last year.
2.7% annually in March. Auto production is up 30% over the past 12 months. And
from when no one was making a fucking car.
And business equipment investment, which is really the heart of the economy and productivity and real wages, that is up 6%.
Yeah, it's not. Don't think it's workers. It's how many copy machines your office owns.
Over the past year. These are all fabulous numbers. And profits, the mother's milk of stocks, are booming, including very good reports by banks like Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America.
This is what happens when you get a Marxist, commie, leftist freak in charge of things.
America and Citigroup. All a good sign for economic recovery. Now,
except,
let me repeat an old adage. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It was broken. They're fixing it.
As the vaccines clear away the pandemic, the economy is still riding high on the tax and regulatory reductions put in place by the prior administration.
Well, except for the ones that were for personal exemptions because you got rid of those.
Including energy independence.
What does that have to do with anything? We're still energy independent. We're going to be. We became energy independent under Obama.
By the by, don't forget about 1,000 new opportunity zones put in place in underserved communities around the country. Now,
oh, you mean where people can write off their losses but keep their profits if they invest in real estate markets that don't build shit?
My point is this. If economic policy would stay out of the way, this 10% type boom could go on, frankly.
It didn't go out of the way. There's no staying out of the way. It is the result of the rescue package and the rollout and the professionalism of the vaccine rollout that has happened since Biden took over. These are the two primary drivers. Otherwise, the stock market would have pegged out at 31,000 and stayed there for a while. You know it. Everybody knows it. You're an asshole.
Frankly, for several more years. Millions and millions of new jobs and higher wages across the board.
So basically, you're saying that $2 trillion in extra spending for infrastructure will be nothing because of the enormous leaps the economy is going to be making over the next couple of years, so it could definitely absorb it. Thanks, Larry.
That's why it's really a shame that the Biden administration wants to fiddle with free enterprise and come crashing down with huge tax hikes and regulatory red tape, all of which are major interventions. This would end fossil fuels.
No, it wouldn't. We're not ending fossil fuels in the next 4 years, dipshit.
And a million other things.
We're replacing it with something renewable. Do you have any idea how many industries come into play when anybody can make solar panels or wind turbines or create geothermal plants? When you don't have to figure out who's sitting on oil and where, who had oil under their feet, which is why he only cares about fossil fuels. The great thing about fossil fuels is You have to, somebody in your family had to have been born on land or bought land that had it underneath it ages ago.
This ideology, tax the rich, anti-business, it's going to get in the way of economic.
It's not anti-business. It's not anti-business. If it was anti-business, they would just say 50% tax. They're going from 35, went down to 21, they want to go up to 28. It's mitigatory. This absolute freak out is bullshit. And people know about it. The stock market knows about it. The bond yield, the bond purchasers know about it.
Common sense. Their spending plans are beyond extravagant.
No, they're not. They're completely reasonable. Even in the case of caregivers, it ends up being a direct financial stimulus because that money's just going to go straight through those people's hands and either to education, to further their careers as home care, health advocates, or what have you, or it's going to go to pay their car or their phone bill or buy them stuff or get them a television set or shit like that.
Their tax strategy will throw a wet blanket.
I know. Look at the bottom of this right. See the stock market? I know.
Over an economy that wants to boom. You know, we could have kept this story very simple. Leave it alone.
Yeah, let the bridges fail. If we just don't do anything, then by the time the midterms come around, things will start to slow down and start to look shitty, and we can blame Democrats for that. But if we keep infusing money into it in shovel-ready projects and in a way to expand the economy that involves everybody in the country, including the flyover and rural areas, then by the time 2022 comes around, what the fuck are the GOP going to run on? Right, Larry?
Why do we need infrastructure improvements? Which
says the dude who doesn't drive.
Could be done something like 650 billion, maybe 800 billion.
Oh, yeah, maybe? Yeah, if all you do is widen some roads and basically slightly expand the problem that already exists.
Financed by easy things like user fees and tolls.
Yeah, make everybody individually pay for it. So the rural communities and everybody else that don't have money already will end up having to leverage money from the federal government that they get. And so basically we'll expand. How about that, Larry? Let's work on infrastructure and only do it in the big cities and leave the rural areas to die. And then they'll be all mad and then they'll vote your way next time. This is the same shit. He's arguing against rural broadband, rural airports, rural roads and bridges. Because if you're going to do it by fees and tolls, nobody's going to agree to that shit locally. Because they don't have it.
Public-private partnerships, local bonding. Instead of this, Team Biden insists on redefining infrastructure.
No.
Turning it into a new Green Deal social welfare state with the biggest tax hike in history. Not good. Truly a pity. It's a huge mistake.
It's pity. It really is. I mean, considering the fact that Larry Kudlow drove interest rates into the fucking toilet, and we were in a recession last February, even before COVID came, and he had no answers during COVID for maintenance, and basically every time they asked for money or something to fix something, they asked for too little and had to come back again and again, while the Democrats were going, you're going to need more, it's going to take this, and they're like, nah, fuck it, it'll be over in 6 weeks.
And if this stuff gets through Congress later in the year,
it will.
I'll tell you, folks, set the place at your dinner table for Calamity Jane, because it's not.
What does she eat? Does she have any special dietary needs I should be made aware of?
Not going to work. It never has in the past.
Yes, it has. The fuck are you talking about? Infrastructure investment has always worked in the past.
And it is not going to work in the future.
Why are you showing equal justice under the law? Why, is that the Supreme Court building? What are you showing?
Leave well enough alone.
Yeah, these buildings look fine. They don't need any help. Just leave them. This is roads and bridges. Look, they've got one fountain.
Now, the progressive left wants even more.
Oh, yeah, well, of course. They want equal justice under law, apparently.
This time, they want to...
Honest to God, it's not that I want to look at a bigger picture of Larry Kudlow. No one does. But does anybody know what the hell these side pictures are for? Are they just filling it? Did they run out of footage of roads and bridges being built? Or are they just afraid to show too many because it'll give people the feeling that, wow, we got a lot of bridges to fix in this country.
To tear down the rule of law, which is really the fundamental basic.
The left wants to tear down the rule of law. Well, that's fascinating. Let's hear it.
Construct of American democracy and our economic system.
The construct of the whole construct. Wow.
This is extraordinary.
It is extraordinary. I never knew about these things. Apparently, the left wants to destroy democracy.
They want to pack the Supreme Court.
You mean make one Supreme Court justice per circuit? There were 9, now there's 12, and now they want to add 13 for the one, and then the overseeing justice for the, like that. Because there used to be 9 circuits, and now there's 12. They want to add, or I think there were 8 circuits, and then there was a 9th that oversaw all of them, so there were 9 Supreme Court justices, and now they want to. And by the way, by they, who do you mean? Because Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to impeach Biden. She filed something. It has about as much chance of getting through the legislature as the expansion bill does, and before the commission that Biden's put together has.
With 4.
By the way, if you're going to tear down the rule of law, why would you want more judges arguing?
More justices to get to 13, and they want to.
Which, of course, is an evil number because, of course, we know Jesus and the apostles. Add those up. Bad news.
Abolish the Senate filibuster, which protects minority rights safeguard.
Yeah, that's what you're concerned with. Minority rights. You mean the minority party. And by the way, it doesn't protect the minority party. It protects the second most dominant party. The minority in the Senate is independents. There's 2 of them. That's the minority. There's the Democrats that are the majority when you include Kamala Harris, and then there's 2 independents, and then there's the rest of the Republicans. The minority protection that you would talk about is the independents. I'm just saying, you guys there's fewer of you, but not because of us.
As a way of packing the court. Mr. Biden, during the campaign, said he was opposed to ending the filibuster and packing the court. Take a listen.
Several of them have proposed major structural reforms to our government and to our democracy. These include abolishing the Electoral College, expanding the size of the Supreme Court, setting term limits for justices, abolishing the legislative filibuster. Which, if any of these, do you support?
None.
All right. Should hold that thought. However, President Biden has already.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Was there more to that answer? I mean, he is a politician. He was in the Senate. Was there more to the answer? I think there was, Larry. Don't make me go and look up the fucking Washington Post editorial meeting.
Partly pulled his punch on the filibuster, and he's appointed a commission to explore packing the court. I'll tell you something. Democrats will rue the day because Republicans will take over the Congress sometime soon. You know what? Maybe even next year. Well, all these goofy policies are going to be rejected by voters.
No, they're not. They're not now, and they're not going to be once they're working.
GOP might even take back the White House, so
No, they're not going to take back the White House in August or in 2022 or even, dare I say, in 2024.
Oh, Biden thinks he's reversing Trump, but I'll tell you.
I love you usually, but this is doing it. You're breaking far too often and interjecting, explaining something, and trailing off into silence too much.
What, in 2024, conservatives can reverse Biden. But if you do that, it wreaks havoc with our rights and our freedoms and our economy. It's a head-swiveling rebuke to the Founding Fathers, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, really our entire rule of law justice system.
How?
But accordingly, the left...
I mean, you can't just say it is. You got to say why. You can't just... It's beyond the fact that you can... I mean, we can all make hyperbolic statements, but... That's your lead-in. You have to pay off the thought. Like, this is all punchline. This is all set up, no punchline.
The left doesn't believe in America. You know what? That's...
The left doesn't believe in America. Oh, that's weird. All right. If we didn't believe in America, would we want more? Wouldn't we tear down the Supreme Court? Wouldn't we want no Supreme Court? Hey.
That's the thing. It's never believed in the Constitution. It would be happy to overthrow or, as they say, transform our entire system. Well, as I've said before, I do not want to transform. I don't want any of this stuff.
Okay, well, Sorry. You should have won then.
The crazy left must not be allowed to persevere.
That's where that phrase came from?
Today's stock market rally focused on surging economic boom. It ignored the threat of taxes and regulations and
Did it? Did it, or is it aware of what's coming down the pike and knowing full well that with reconciliation, the Democrats can absolutely pass this stuff?
court packing and ending filibusters. And
The stock market doesn't give a shit about court packing.
ending the vision of our founders. The stock market's telling us this awful stuff is not going to happen. It can't happen here, right? This is America, right?
What are you looking at? Can someone please move this asshole's teleprompter in front of his actual lens?
Wait a minute. The loony left is at it again to try to make it happen. And that's what is so worrisome.
That's where you bagged out?